Hey, it's Maximo and welcome to Maximo's Travels. Join me as I tour Las Vegas. We start off at the Venetian Casino and Resort, a faithful reproduction of Venice, Italy. We have a good inexpensive curry for lunch, and then we head to the Sphere for a late afternoon showing. We're amazed by all the technology on show, including very freaky and realistic robots. We're amazed at the world's largest, highest definition and best audio movie theatre. We'll be amazed by a musical fountain show at the Bellagio Resort and have our last dinner in Las Vegas at a Mexican restaurant. Join me. It's my first time in Las Vegas, and in my previous video I was basically wandering up and down the Las Vegas Strip, just getting a vibe of the place. We'd walked a hell of a lot the day before, over 22,000 steps, around about 15 kilometers or 10 miles. So on this day we took it nice and easy. We had a bit of a lie-in, brought breakfast and coffees from a convenience store in the lobby of our hotel, and started our second full day of touring Las Vegas in the late morning. While the previous day was just wandering around, this day was to be much more focused. We took an Uber to save our legs and headed towards the Venetian. The Venetian is basically a replica of Venice. I've been to Venice recently, around June 2022, and I can say that apart from some of the casinos in the background, it really did look like you were in Venice. The scale of architecture wasn't quite there, but certainly the style sure was. They even had gondolas there, and you could take a gondola ride around the area. The prices would be probably just as much, and or if not more, than the price that you'd have to pay in Venice. The architecture here was simply stunning. It was quite a faithful replication of what you would find in Venice. And you think, well, that was it, you'd be sadly mistaken. The inside is equally large and Venetian as the outside. The gluten-free app that I'd be using directed us to a food court here. Specifically, the Curry Pot restaurant was very friendly for vegans as well as those that have issues with gluten. A palak paneer. What have we got there, Joe? Dal. And a mango lassi to drink. Well, enjoy. Both dishes were very flavourful and quite large. We did enjoy eating here. 2 meals and a drink for lunch here was relatively inexpensive at around 25 US dollars all up. That's around about 40 Australian dollars. Expensive for lunch, but reasonable for Las Vegas. We finished our lunch and continued walking around the shops at the Venetian. There certainly were a lot of people here and quite a few gondolas, although most of the gondolas were empty, probably because of the high prices. A private gondola ride for 2 people cost $100 US, or around about 156 Australian dollars. Very expensive. So we kept on walking through the shopping arcade and was surprised by the number of shops selling all sorts of things. This one even sold robots. We had a little bit of time to kill as we'd booked a session at the Sphere Las Vegas for 4 p.m. And because we were going to the Sphere, we couldn't bring anything larger than a purse or small fanny pack. Therefore, all I took with me was my iPhone. So all this footage has been shot on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. It was recommended that we get to the Sphere nice and early. So that's just what we did. We arrived there at least half an hour before the ticketed entry time of 4 p.m. And here's a handy tip for you. Actually, it's a series of tips. Apart from not being able to bring large bags, you can't bring large photographic equipment, including cameras with zoom lenses. You can't bring video cameras, selfie sticks, tripods or monopods either. And while there is a pedestrian walkway from the Venetian to the Sphere, this was closed on the day that we visited. So we had to walk the long way around on the outside of the building to 255 Sands Avenue. There is a ticket booth at the Sphere where you can buy tickets in person, but the line for it was horrendously long, and it'd be best if you just not bother with it and ensure that you buy your tickets online well beforehand. Once the doors open, you've got about 45 minutes inside the atrium where you can experience an immersive and interactive experience, including such things as talking to robots and asking them questions and having them reply. There's usually a movie or some sort of event afterwards. We saw Postcard from the Earth. It was around about 50 minutes in duration. Our tickets cost $99 US, around 155 Australian dollars, and seating prices differ according to where you're sitting. The closer you are to the front and middle of the screen, the more expensive it is. There was a lot of people queued outside, thousands it appeared, but they all seemed to disperse once in the auditorium. And once in there, there's many different things that you can see, including light and sound shows and interacting with robots. The Sphere is full of amazing technology.
You will hear a different instrument in each spotlight. In Spotlight 1, saxophone. In Spotlight 2, guitar. In Spotlight 3, piano. And in Spotlight 4, B3 organ. As the track plays, walk or dance from one spotlight to another. Get ready to be amazed.
It's just amazing world-class technology. The Sphere features the largest high-definition screen in the world. It's filmed in 18K resolution, and it's the world's most advanced audio system. The audio system is directional, so depending where you're sitting, you may or may not hear different things. There's a number of robots in the auditorium, and I've got to say, they are downright freaky.
Espero que disfruten explorando todos los maravillosos rincones de este lugar. ¿Hay algo emocionante que estén esperando ver durante su visita?
Even the snack bar has an automated payment system. Here's a robot's response to Joe asking it to thank Katrina for minding her business while she was away.
Good day to Katrina back in Australia. Joanne sends a heartfelt thank you for minding the business. Your efforts are as appreciated as a cool breeze on a hot outback day.
Those robots were absolutely amazing. And I've worked in IT and technology for nearly 40 years, and it takes a lot to impress me. 45 minutes passed very quickly, and it was soon time to head up multiple escalators to see our screening of Postcard from Earth. And if you've got an issue with heights, just be aware that it is awfully high right at the back of the theatre. And if you've got issues with heights, I'd certainly try and book somewhere a bit closer to the front, even though the tickets up front are probably $20 to $30 more expensive than the ones at the back and up high. The whole of the atrium inside of the theatre were just absolutely amazing. It was very well thought out. We took our seats in section 407 and row 11, and boy, the seats were awfully steep. It was quite a long drop down all the way to the front of the screen. And if you think the screen was the white square in the middle, you were sadly mistaken. It was the whole of the dome. It's the biggest screen I've ever seen, much bigger than an IMAX in comparison. The standard and quality of the video and the quality of the audio were just simply stunning. And the scale and depth of the video just kept getting better and better and better. I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek at the audio and video that we saw.
into a multitude of shapes and forms.
Granite teeth capped with snow and ice.
Would not be contained there.
In the seas it began, but it flourished within the rocks.
It killed.
I've got to say that was an utterly world-class attraction. Both Joe and I thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. It was frightfully expensive, around $155 Australian per person, for something that lasted just over an hour and a half. I'd say it was well worth the money. I really had a grand time, and the technology on display was simply amazing. It was around about 6 o'clock by the time we made our way out of the complex, and the walkway between the Sphere and the Venetian was open. We walked through the Venetian casino and to the front of the building. However, the exterior of the Venetian didn't have quite the same impact at night than it did during the day. We continue walking down the strip, and I've got to say, all the neon lights made it look absolutely fantastic. It seemed a lot more special, wonderful and magical than it did during the day. We passed many casinos that were wonderfully lit up in the evening light, and eventually we walked past the flamenco to our destination, the Bellagio Fountain Show. It was a fantastic show, and I can see why the fountains at the Bellagio are one of the most visited tourist attractions on the Las Vegas Strip. The shows happen every 30 minutes during the day and every 15 minutes during the night. They last between 3 and 6 minutes. After the fountain show, we kept walking back towards our hotel, the Excalibur. The Las Vegas Strip at night is certainly spectacular. Las Vegas is renowned for its vibrant, dazzling neon lights, which have become a symbol for the city's entertainment and history. We ended up at New York, which is right next door to our hotel. We had our last dinner in Las Vegas at a Mexican restaurant. It was vegetarian and gluten-friendly. Gluten-free tacos. Your corn chips and salsa nice? Dinner at this restaurant was reasonably nice and inexpensive. After dinner, we headed back to our hotel for a very well-earned sleep. which we thought was going to be our last in Las Vegas. We were sadly mistaken. Find out what happened and experience all our dramas on our next video, which will be our last in Las Vegas. I do hope you've liked this video. If so, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Hit that notify bell so you'll never miss another upcoming video. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying me a coffee or hit that super thanks button. And look out for my next video as we unsuccessfully try to leave Las Vegas. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.